Hello, welcome to Kitchen Closed with BrightRock. I'm Dan Nicholl, and as you can see from my attire, I'm a very cold Dan Nicholl. Johannesburg is horrific at the moment. There are people in Scotland who would leave South Africa right now based on the fact that it is just too cold. And so in order to battle some of that cold, I'm huddled around my stove and looking forward to getting it done, not just to have myself some lunch, but more importantly, to try and warm up. But the food I'll be making today should, if I get it right, come out brilliantly, because the chef who's guiding me through it is one of my favorites. He's a guy who oversees all manner of restaurants and has for some time now. He's a South African icon in the kitchen, and he's rubbing in the Johannesburg weather today, because instead of sitting inside his kitchen at Element House, which along with Fane are his two culinary headquarters, he's decided to slip outside onto the terrace at Element, where it's 32 degrees, the sun is on, and I've only just managed to convince him to put his shirt back on. Hello, Peter Templehoff.
Hi Dan, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Sorry about rubbing this beautiful day in, but it is a peach out here, and it's great to be cooking with you. And hello all to the viewers, hope you guys are well.
Yeah, well, I just want to give everybody a little bit of context. Let's let people know who you are. Element House, beautiful little luxury boutique hotel in Cape Town. Roger Federer stays there, Oprah Winfrey stays there, the Clintons stay there, the Kardashians stay there, although that's probably a friendship of yours. It's a gorgeous spot, and not a bad place to be hanging out during the tail end of lockdown, Pete.
Yeah, it's not such a bad spot at all. You know, we've got everything going here, especially the weather, rub it in again. But it's been fantastic here. I've been here now for a year looking after the food with Rudy, the executive chef. And, you know, the team has been really welcoming to me, really warm. And it's a fantastic place to work. And it's nice to get away from the city a little bit, being Fane. So.
You're doing some great work at the moment in the food space, and we'll talk about that from a philanthropic angle a little later. Right now, though, I'm fascinated to find out why you've chosen what you have. I was wondering when you sent through a recipe, would it be something with an Asian flair from Fane, where you've redefined the art of eating Asian-style cooking in the Cape, or would it be something that's more along the lines of the Element House menu? What have you chosen and why?
Well, this one actually goes back a bit further than both of them. I was trained quite classically in Italian and French cooking, actually. And one of my favorite restaurants that I worked in over the years was called Zafferano. It's a little one-star Michelin restaurant in Knightsbridge. And it was, the head chef was Giorgio Locatelli, one of the legends in Italian food. And what he taught me was this very simple dish. It's called a Chicken Paillard. And it's if you get it right, all the work is in the prep. Cooking is really simple. And today we're just serving with potatoes and spinach. So super simple. You guys can get these ingredients anywhere.
All right, well, that sounds good to me. I've got my ingredients. Inevitably, because you chefs are a horrible lot, you'll spring out at the last minute that I actually need some reduced ostrich fat or some herb that's only up in Madagascar. But I've got everything you did say I needed. So let's get going. How do we kick off this dish?
All right, well, hopefully we have covered all the ingredients. Actually, let me just go through the ingredients quick for the viewers. So you've got chicken breasts over there. We've got some baby potatoes. So these are kind of waxy potatoes, which I've just boiled and I've sliced up quite thick. They're almost about 1 centimeter thick. And then here I've got some chopped up parsley, some chives, and then I've got some onions. Dan, you can leave your onions raw if you like, or you can sweat them down like I have a little bit. That's just for the salad. We got some olive oil, a little Maldon salt, and a lemon, and some Parmesan cheese. And then for the salad, all we're gonna do is we're gonna toss this beautiful young spinach. All right, so let's get going on. So I think the first thing, also what you guys need is like a backpack bag. So I've got 2 Ziploc bags here, which we're gonna bang the chicken out between. So the Chicken Paillard traditionally is a chicken breast which is bashed out really thin and then grilled super quickly. So I think the trick here is to get the chicken right. So we're gonna move all these ingredients off because we're actually gonna be making a bit of noise, Dan. Okay, so take your chicken breast. You'll see there's a skin side. Put the skin side down onto your chopping board. Okay, and then and put the pointy side away from you. Pointy side away from you. Okay, now if you can take your knife, I don't know if you can get down here with the camera a little bit. So take your knife and don't cut through the whole thing. Just cut through this fat heel of the chicken breast. So you're gonna cut through, but don't go all the way through. You're just gonna kind of butterfly this fat end so that it is a similar thickness to the rest of the chicken. So you see how we just butterflied it, and you're going to press it open like that. Are you following? Like that.
I am.
Okay, and then you're going to turn the breast, and you're going to do the same with, there's another little fat end now, so do the same with that side. So just get the knife in there and kind of just butterfly it open. Be careful not to go all the way, because if you go all the way, you're going to bang holes in it when you kind of flatten the breast out. So it should look like that. You see that? We kind of just, there's a start, that's how we started, and you're going to kind of open it up like that. Okay?
Mine, like a crudely drawn children's cartoon elephant.
Okay, so just take a little bit of oil just on your fingers and just rub it on the breast. So when you put it between the plastic, it presses out nice and effortlessly. And then once you've got that, you're going to put it onto your backpack bag or your Ziploc bag and put another one on top of it. Okay, so take your mallet, and then you want to get it really thin, you want to get it really even. So it's important you start beating it, but not too hard. You kind of want to get a nice even pressure when you're hitting it. And you don't want to focus on one spot only. You want to get really evenly bashed out like this. That's it. So you'll see it slowly starting to flatten out. And you almost want to be able to, when you see light through the chicken breast, you're good. You want to keep going. Now, when I get to this stage, I find my mallet is too small. So I like to bring a little bit of a pot out. So I've got a bigger surface here. And if you use a pot, it goes more even if you're using something with a bigger surface. It's about just over doubled in size. You can see the size of that. You want to keep going a little bit more. You were aiming for about 3 mils, maybe 3.5 millimeters. Okay, then we're going to hold that up. Okay, that's good. So that's about what you're after. Okay, how's yours looking?
Doesn't quite have your elegance of shape, but
okay, that's good.
there we go.
Do you have any wax paper or baking
Yes,
paper? Okay, cool. So what you're going to do now is you're going to peel off one of the sides. The side with the skin on it should be at the bottom still. So you're going to peel off the top, and you're going to put a piece of wax paper over it, like that. And then you're going to flip it upside down. You're going to peel off the other side. Now this is your grill side. So what I'm going to do to remember that is I'm going to put a little parsley on it. Right? And then what you can do, you can just keep them like this, and you do about 5 of them for your dinner guests. And you can store them in the fridge like that. And they last a couple days. So get the hard work out the way and just bring these things out and chuck them on the braai. They're fantastic.
And also, I've just got a regular Ziploc bag, not one of these magic ones of yours that appear to miraculously peel apart.
No, that's all good. That's all good. Hey, listen, have you got your grill pan going?
No, but I will now.
Okay. We need to get the potatoes crisped up a little bit, so we should probably start going on them. Have you sorted?
Okay, am I popping?
Okay. Yeah, so
popping any oil in?
No, so just peel off that first piece of plastic and put a piece of wax paper down, and then flip it over and take the plastic off and cover it in wax paper. And then we'll put that aside while we get the potatoes going.
Okay. So there we go. Flip it over. A little bit of parsley.
A little bit of parsley on that side. Yep. That's just so you know which side to go on the grill. And then you can put another piece of wax paper on, then we'll get the spuds going.
Question for you while I'm doing this, Peter. As a chef, how often do you stick your fingers, burn yourself, have little mishaps in the kitchen?
Well, as little as possible, but it does happen. I find burning myself not so much, but cutting myself when I'm cleaning surfaces, I tend to do it, which is quite irritating because people always think you nicked yourself with your knife, but it's not so. It's, you know, after 22, 23 years of cooking, you learn to avoid your fingers. You slice by using your knuckles, so you don't slice the tips of your fingers off. And yourself, how often do you burn yourself?
The burning not so bad, but I tend to probably 3 or 4 times a week I manage to nick something. But normally it's been while I'm cooking. I've got a 4-year-old on one leg and a 6-year-old on the other.
So listen, let's get the potatoes in. Your pan is hot, right?
It is indeed.
Okay, cool. So get some olive oil into the pan. I've got about 1.5 tablespoons here. You can maybe use 2, depending on how big your pan is. And then we're gonna chuck in some of the potatoes. So if they don't sizzle, they're gonna stick. So you don't want them to stick. So probably about 3 or 4 potatoes. So that's gonna be very, very simple. You can use old potatoes for this. You know, if you've had a baked potato the night before, slice them up, that works perfectly, you know. So you just wanna kind of let that through. I've lost a little bit of heat there. I'm gonna move it over that side. So while the potatoes are frying off, we are going to talk about the salad. So this is super simple. All I've done here, Dan, is I've taken some, we were gonna pan fry these up until yesterday, since it's been so hot, I thought a salad might be a bit better. You could actually fry yours up there, seeing as it's so cold. But for this purpose, we're just gonna take the spinach, and we got a little tablespoon of onions, which we're kind of just gonna sprinkle onto it. And we got a little bit of salt, a little Maldon salt. That's all she wrote. So I like the simplicity of this dish, but the flavors just marry so well together. Okay, so now we're gonna, so you got the onions on the spinach, and you've got your balsamic vinegar, right? We're gonna dress it right at the end. As soon as we're about to plate up, we're gonna dress it.
What I've done instead of balsamic, I've got some old Spanish sherry vinegar.
Ah,
I've
fantastic.
added a little bit of sugar to it.
Yeah, good idea. A little bit of sugar actually just sweetens it a little bit, which kind of rounds off, it's not so sharp. Because it's literally just gonna be olive oil and vinegar on this. It's super, super simple. Okay, so the chicken. Are you getting any color on your potatoes, Dan?
I am indeed. They're starting to take on that slightly jaundiced look.
I've lost a little bit of heat to my fancy braai here, so I'm going to put them directly on the heat. And then the fire on top here is absolutely perfect. Is your pan smoking yet?
It is indeed.
Okay, so that's perfect. You don't want it to be too cool, else your chicken's going to stick quite badly. And then get your chicken breast. Put your chicken breast back in front of you. And peel off the sides that has the parsley on it. So peel off the wax paper.
Yep.
And then, have you got a paintbrush and some olive oil?
I've got one.
Okay,
Do
fantastic.
your worst.
Okay, cool. Now listen, Dan, it's really important. Don't put a lot of olive oil on the chicken, or else it's gonna go black. Okay, so just very gently rub the face, eh? Just really super gentle, not a lot. You don't even want like half a teaspoon on there. Just a slight amount so it doesn't stick. And then you want to get some salt. Do you have salt?
I do have salt.
Awesome. Okay, so I've got Maldon salt here, but you can use normal salt. It's absolutely fine. So just a fine layer of salt on there. If you can see that. Now we got to find out. Just flip our potatoes quick because we're almost finished the dish. There we go. Spuds are looking good.
Looking fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so let's get cooking, Dan. So you want to get your tongs ready? Did I mention the tongs to you?
You did. I'm wearing them now. They're quite comfortable, actually.
Not thongs, Dan. Not thongs. So once your potatoes are flipped, you're gonna grab your chicken in your one hand and your tongs in your other hand.
Right.
Okay, so your chicken in one hand like this.
Yep.
Tongs in the other like that. You're holding onto the wax paper, right? Okay, so you're gonna, in the middle of your pan, bang it down. Peel off the paper before it burns. Okay, so now you gotta let it cook for a little bit. It's gotta get about 2/3 of the way cooking. You can see it's starting to go white around the edges. Good sign, that's really good sign. And you'll see this end is the thicker end, right? That's where the heel was. So we are gonna, there's a way you flip it and you cook that end a little bit more than the rest. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna flip it. Right? If yours is cooked, yours looks a bit thicker, so give it a bit more time. But then watch this trick. This is a trick where we're gonna flip it into a wave, and it's gonna be on the thick side is on the grill, and the thin side is now in the air like that. While that thing is finishing off, we're gonna pull the potatoes out. They're looking great, really nice and crispy. Okay, now this chicken, mine is ready. So I'm gonna pull it off.
All right.
And I'm gonna put it directly on the plate. So make sure you try to get that beautiful wave. So it kind of curls up like that. I don't know if you can see that. It's curled up beautifully. And then I forgot to cook my lemon. So in your frying pan, Dan, put your lemon in. Just color up the lemon just a little bit, just to warm it up a bit. Okay, so the potatoes now, a little bit of salt. And the chives go on the spuds. So a little bit of chopped chives on there. And then we're gonna plate up. So let's get a little pile of potatoes. Looking delicious. Oh man, there we go. We don't need,
Voila.
we don't need all of them. So the spinach salad. Right here I've got some white balsamic vinegar. But you got the sherry, so drizzle a bit onto the salad.
30 seconds to go.
No probs. Have you flipped it yet? Listen, if you can't get that curl on, I sometimes put the chicken flat on the plate, and you can kind of dress the salad on one end of the chicken and the potatoes as well. If you haven't done this 1,000 times, it's sometimes hard to get that curl on. Is your lemon in your frying pan or your grill pan?
I've taken it out. It's already done.
Fantastic. Okay, so the lemon goes on the plate as the garnish. And then the salad, and then we're going to garnish with a little bit of this vinegar on the plate. Not a lot, just a few drizzles. That's it. And if they need extra, then they just use their lemon. And then just to finish it off, you got to get some olive oil on your chicken breast.
Okay.
There we go, just a nice generous drizzle, because that becomes your sauce.
And then final addition, a few potatoes.
A few potatoes, and then one last thing, which we're going to add right at the end, is some Parmesan cheese. Did I mention the Parmesan?
No, you didn't.
That's optional, we'll say, yeah?
Well, as it happens, I've actually got some Parmesan in the fridge, so I'll go and grab some. Just
And there it is.
meh.
So there she is.
right.
How's your looking? Is it looking all right? Let's have a look. That's coming along.
You reckon?
Good, yeah, good. I reckon that's great. That's fantastic. So there it is, your chicken Paillard with crispy potatoes and a spinach and Parmesan salad with grilled lemon. Enjoy it.
What I love about it, it's fun to make. It's not a difficult dish, but it's got a little bit of flair to it as well. Playing around with the chicken, I can't wait to tuck into it. And it leads me to just ask you one quick question. You've been doing a terrific job with the Element team over the last couple of months. I've been lucky enough to be part of it. The Music for Meals project, getting out into some really troubled parts of the Cape and giving over 300 kids every day a meal. It's been an immensely rewarding program, I know. Tell us a little bit about how it came about and why you were so eager to get involved with it.
Well, listen, we're so blessed that we can help in such a way. There's a lot of people who can actually help. But, you know, our kitchens were sitting idle in the beginning of lockdown, and we had to do something. You know, our chefs were sitting around at home. We managed to get the paperwork in order, and we got out and we started cooking. We started just giving meals to anybody we could see who was kind of destitute and in need. And then the 100 meal challenge kind of took shape, and then it kind of morphed into the Music for Meals, which is fantastic. And now we have Ches and Colby on board with his charity. So we've gone up to 1,000 meals from Element House on 3 times a week, I believe. And then we're doing out of Fane, we're feeding another 400 kids a day, and these poor kids, they were taken in by a charity, an animal shelter, who actually found them chasing the animal van that was bringing food to the animals, because these poor kids, they needed food so badly they're willing to eat dog food. So we're happy to join up with the animal welfare charity, and we are feeding these kids now. So it's great that it's kind of grown, and there's fantastic contributions by everybody who's given, and we really appreciate that. And please don't stop giving, because as long as you're giving, we'll be cooking, and there's still going to be a lot of need out there even past lockdown. So, but thanks for everything.
Oh, it's an inspiring story. It's one of so many, and it has been for me the best part of a really difficult time, that we've seen people come out, we've seen the best side of them, and people so willing to help and do whatever they can to assist others, and you've been very much part of that. So big thank you to the team at Element and to yourself, but thanks also for today. Great dish. I'm going to try it out now and then replicate it for my wife for dinner a little later on this evening. And the only other thing I really can't wait to do is get back down to the Cape, drop in an Element, and get through to Fane, where I had a brilliant meal not long before lockdown, and I'm looking forward to another one as soon as possible.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you soon, and we just heard good news today that the restaurant's going to open very soon. So we're very excited about that. So watch this space.
Great to hear. Some much needed good news for the restaurant industry as we wrap up another episode of Kitchen Closed with BrightRock. See you again next week.